Welcome back to the only good podcast left on the internet. I am Mike Recine. I'm joined by Sean McCarthy and Scott Chaplain. The boys are back. The boys are back together. We performed a bunch of bonding rituals where we all ate sushi off of a woman that we found from TaskRabbit, and it's good to be here. How's it going, Sean?
It's good, yeah.
Good. Sean is modeling our lovely 2024 Out for Smokes T-shirt. If you guys want one, I got a couple more in stock. You can send an email to OFS Shirts. Look at that. Look at that beautiful.
That looks so good.
Beautiful attire. We're getting a lot of good feedback.
Look at that design.
It's a beautiful design. You can show your support for the Axis of Resistance by sending me $25. OFSshirts@gmail.com. Send me your size and your shipping info, and I will get one out to you immediately. Yeah. Anything new?
No, not really. I mean, crazy news week. You know, that's the curse about living in interesting times. I think this is the most eventful year we've had since 9/11.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it always sounds hyperbolic when you talk about World War III, but yeah, we're right on the brink. This is the entire Israeli strategy is to try to get the U.S. involved in a war with Iran, and they did this at the time of maximum leverage, right before the election, where the Biden administration, they have kind of a choice of like being dragged with them or potentially having a situation be created that throws the election to Trump, where gas prices are already spiking, and that's really what American voters care about most. So if gas prices spike a lot, Trump will probably win, and Trump's taking $100 million from Adelson. So I think the possibility of war with Iran is very real, and it's something that Americans have to try our best to stop.
And we'll get to that in a few minutes, but Scott and I just got back from Skankfest in Vegas.
Yeah, dude. I clicked on my Skankfest fan today,
Yeah.
and it starts spinning, and then it says Skankfest on it. I'm like, I'm such a fool. What a
I didn't get
dumb
one of those.
life
Wait, I didn't
live.
pick up my swag bag.
You got to pick up your swag bag.
Why didn't they give it to me at the
your goodie bag?
Did you
brother.
get it at the beginning of the festival?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it early enough where they go, oh, and are you someone who smokes weed? And I go, yes. And then they give you another bag of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I do want to get into that. I do want to get into the other stuff really quickly, but I want to get into that because, and I know you guys listen for, you listen for geopolitical stuff. But I want to get into it because
Las
Skankfest,
Vegas is geo.
You're derailing.
Sorry, go ahead.
So you guys, just for the listeners who don't know, you just went to the third Skankfest in Las Vegas.
Third Skankfest in Las Vegas.
It's a big comedy festival they do out there.
Yeah. But it is related to what's going on in the Middle East. I'm going to explain that in a second.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mike avoided certain people the whole time.
I avoided one person pretty successful too.
Yeah.
And the way I avoided this one person was I would see him out of the corner of my eye, and I would just focus on whoever I was talking to, and I would fold my arms and I would kind of pump my biceps up a little bit, and I would just try to look as alpha as possible.
Yeah. By not making eye contact and going, please leave the room. Please leave the room.
Yeah. And so I just kind of wanted to sort of posture and subtly remind him, like the way real men think and look. And I was hoping that, I would just fold up my sleeves a little bit and hope that I could confront him with my alpha mindset. But this is what I want to say, because the first person I ran into was Tommy Pope, a Philly comic.
I love Tommy.
I saw him on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
So he walks up to me and he goes, dude, this is mayhem. And I'm like, where do you think you are?
Yeah.
The second person I ran into was a good friend of ours, I guess, friend of the show, Katie Boyle, Irish comedian who's been pretty outspoken about, the Middle East.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm so glad I ran into you because I'm seeing all these people, and I'm like, oh, do you even like want to talk to me? It's funny because Skankfest was the first time in a while that I was sort of like It's like you're together with all these comics, and you're sort of confronted with you know what I've been posting a lot.
Yeah, you're confronted with your position.
You're confronted with your position.
And your kind of like your presentation
Yeah.
to the rest of comedy.
Yeah.
So they talk to you like how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they don't know you. Yeah.
So you see so many people and you're like, does this person like me? Does this person want to talk to me? Should I avoid this person? Is it going to be weird? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I went back to my room and I put on my bodysuit, my muscular bodysuit.
You SpongeBobbed it?
Yeah. I inflated it a little more just so I could look more alpha.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, Katie Boyle was like, yeah, so many people, like a lot of people have unfollowed me, I think, and I'm not sure what it's about. And Katie's not like, you know, she's not like me and Sean where we go a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know? Like Sean and I are kind of intentionally on Twitter. We're sort of intentionally like
poking the bear.
We're kind of provocative.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love Sean. I love the way Sean posts.
Of course.
Yeah. And I guess I try to emulate it.
Sure.
I guess I look up to him in that way. There's only two things I'm jealous of Sean about, and it's the way he posts.
Sure.
And that Rania Kalik follows him on Twitter. You know,
you're like Aaron and Nick Carter.
What's that?
You're like Aaron and Nick Carter.
He's Nick?
Yeah, he's Nick and you're Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to overdose on this, but he's fine, yeah. He was in a band, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting, and like so I talked to a bunch of people. Like I talked to Adrienne Iapolucci, who I think is like, you know, an amazing comedian, but
she's awesome.
She was asking me all this stuff, and she's like, so what do you like, I forget how it came up, but I did have to I felt like I had to answer for a lot of the stuff that I believe.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah. So Adrian was like, but didn't Hamas like rape a baby and then eat it? You know? And I'm like, no. She's like, okay, I just think that like and Adrian's like very funny, but
she's so funny. I love Adrian. I love talking to Adrian.
Yeah. She's incredibly funny, but
I love running into Adrian somewhere where you run into her, you go, thank God. Adrian's
for
here.
sure.
That's what it feels like for me.
Yeah. But you know, I think her politics are a little bit, I guess maybe feckless. Like she's very, I think she's how would you describe that? Like nihilistic?
Non-existent would be my take.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just chilling, right? She's just kind of focused on her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know, she's kind of like apathetic and
sure.
Like,
yeah.
can't do
That's what I
anything.
mean. Yeah.
And then she was like, I just think you should like be about it if you really believe in it. Like, I don't know, you should like leave the country.
That rules. What a fun take.
Yeah.
Dude, leave the country for a year.
She told me I should leave the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. We're not Israel. We're the United States.
Right.
We should be saying, fuck Israel. Why are we giving them so much money?
She was like, well, you pay your taxes, so you should like be about it and leave the country if you feel that way.
No, you should question where your tax money's going to.
Right.
And you should be like angry about where your tax money's going to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I got a little annoyed. I said, well, people who are like complacent, you know, feel that they feel powerless. So they try to, you know, mock the people who are trying to do something. Not that I'm doing anything.
Sure.
You know?
No. But you're watching the game, you know?
I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
I'm watching the game and I'm tweeting.
Yeah. And you're going, hey, refs, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
US
like,
is the refs.
I'm doing a little bit more than nothing.
Sure.
Yeah. So she told me to leave the country. And then and you know,
that rules, man.
Yeah.
Your experience so different than mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
People
was
like
just
seeing
very
Scott.
sweet to me. Yeah.
People like Scott.
The only bad things that happen to me is
everybody likes me.
people poked my belly. Like 10 different comics poked my belly to acknowledge that I gained 6 pounds. Anyway.
And somebody did say, somebody said, tell Scott that he's gaining weight. I don't think you're gaining weight. I don't really see
Who said that? Who said that?
Somebody.
Some pig, probably. That's the problem. Yeah. Some pig.
Some guy who's fatter than me said that. But yeah.
Dude, I'm taking steroids this year. It's fucking over. I'm taking stem cells.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Then I saw somebody else who we were always good friends, and I know that her and her husband are pretty pro-Israel. They're not really vocal about it, but it's two people that I was always like very close with. And when we had our kid, they gave us a bunch of baby stuff. They gave us the baby carrier.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And you ran into them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they gave me the baby carrier that I like carried my son around in for the first like year and a half of his life, you know? And so, yeah, like I'm friendly with them. Deb's friendly with them. And I saw her coming up the escalator, and I said, there's no way she wants to talk to me. I'm just going to have to avoid her all weekend, you know?
I'm trying to think of who this was.
What's that?
Who was this?
Yeah, I don't want to say who it is.
But it's a woman who had a baby.
Yeah, they have kids and they're married and they
do comedy.
But I don't want people trying to like, you know.
Sure.
It just doesn't really matter who it is.
No, yeah.
But anyway, but then I was backstage, and then she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, how's it going? It's great to see you." Like, and then we had this really nice conversation about like our kids and like, yeah, me and Deb live in Brooklyn, and she's like, "Well, we live here. We live in this other city, and we get so much more for our money, and it's like." It's really fun. And I said, yeah, I saw the video that your husband made about the toy that he was setting up for his kids. And I go, man, that was like really good. That was really good storytelling. No wonder the guy's a professional writer. You know?
I think I know who these people are.
Yeah, you probably know who these people are. So
you shouldn't have talked to her.
What's that?
She's not going to make you feel good about yourself if it's who I'm thinking.
She's not going to make me feel good about myself.
No, that's not her role.
But she was so nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have like this long history and everything. And then the conversation sort of shifts a little bit, and I didn't feel like she was being like she was trying to scold me or be disingenuous or anything. But she was like, you know, and just so you know, like you do have a lot of like Jewish friends that really like love you and think you're great and think you're really fun.
Yeah.
I said, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know? And then she was like, yeah, so, and sometimes like, you know, when they see your post, they're like, oh, I wonder if he hates me. It was like that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, but you know, I mean, if you're paying attention, what's really going on? And she's like, yeah, I don't really pay attention to it. I just kind of raise my kids.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, do you have the answers? And I'm like, no, but I think you should probably give people their rights. I think that's probably good.
Yeah, it's not a matter of answer. There's still a side.
Right. But go ahead.
Too cowardly to say drop it on Tel Aviv. Right. Drop the big one. Drop the SAR bomb on Tel Aviv.
I know. I'm like, I'm such a coward. I'm such a little.
Do I have the answer?
And I'm
obliterate Tel Aviv.
But I'm like, I can't say this to her. She gave me that baby carrier. No. You know what I mean? We're so like enmeshed with these people and their I don't want to say these people.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
1 month you go from being friends with everybody.
No, listen to me, Mike. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. When you say those people, I know exactly what you mean. And we don't have to be explicit about it, but I know exactly what you mean.
Right. Okay. You are a little evil, huh?
Dude, they're threatening to kill me.
One on the show. Are they?
Well, I got a fair number of Zionist death threats because, and you know, it's like fine. I asked for it because when Iran was launching the missiles, one of those OSINT open source intelligence accounts, they tweeted explosions heard across Tel Aviv. Yeah. And I quote tweeted that, and I said, the 5 most beautiful words in the English language.
Right. Right. But that means that
and then
Tel
a bunch
Aviv
of Zionists.
is one of the most beautiful words.
Yes. But only with explosions heard across. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, some Zionists sent me some death threats. And one of them was like no, it's Sean Podrick McCarthy is dead or something like that.
Yeah.
The 5 most beautiful words in the English language. So
why are they so corny?
I don't know. They don't know how to deal with any problem except to just murder people.
Right.
Like, yeah, if you don't like them, they'll just come kill you and,
yeah.
Or talk about rape or porn or whatever they do.
I think I've only gotten 1 death threat in the past year.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you report Ron on to the police?
Yeah, I said, oh, there's a guy and he wants to kill me.
I talked to Renan. We just talked regular.
Oh,
Nice.
Interesting. You talked to him.
Yeah, we acted like you two didn't have a
What did you
beef.
guys talk about?
I just said, "Hey, what's up?" You know, we
Interesting.
bullshitted. Yeah.
Interesting. You talked to the Out for Smoke
Talked about
podcast
comedy
number
and
one
life.
enemy.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
We didn't acknowledge you once.
You would not make it in Hezbollah because you need to be liked.
Acknowledge you once.
You need to be liked.
I like
today.
Renan. I like him.
You
I like
like
these
him?
people. Yeah.
He went on a show and called your best friend anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but I feel like the
He took
timeline, if
money-
you look at the timeline, it was like a month of you torturing him on this podcast. Yeah, I think it was.
No,
It is funny. Like, I'll bet you if you examine the Mike Recine Ronan beef, it is like the Israel-Palestine conflict in reverse,
Yeah, of
where
course.
Mike is the aggressor,
No, I'm not
but
saying
he's
that.
like spread enough propaganda that the story starts with Ronan calling him an anti-Semite. Like, that's the Mike's equivalent of October 7th.
Yeah.
Is Ronan finally
Yeah.
retaliating?
I have to fight back now. I have to end Renan.
So Ronan is Hamas. is what-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's actually in the right.
Yeah.
Ironically enough.
Right, because he's a
Oh my God, Mike. This guy.
yeah, he's a
Mike's so funny too, because it's like
paraded women through the street after he them.
these are the things he says on the podcast about the guy he knows. You just imagine the things that he says when the mics stop.
Not
When we stop recording.
He's nicer. That's what's crazy.
He's probably a lot
yeah.
nicer.
nicer.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Scott. I didn't know that.
But yeah, I ran into him
Good.
just a few times.
He's negotiating a separate piece, Scott
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well, we have to figure out how to deal with informants. But anyway,
We didn't bring up the pod or anything. It was
What's
just,
that?
we just talked. Yeah.
yeah. Look, I've said it before. He's not a bad guy. He's a smart guy.
He's
a very smart guy.
He's a sick man.
He's a smart guy, and he's a good comedian. Okay. But he does have Hamas tendencies. Yeah.
Yeah,
He does.
yeah. You guys would end up, if you got in a room together and had to talk, it would be Tim Waltz and JD Vance. It would be a lot of thanks, buddy. I like you too. That's what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'd be shitting on the other things and
Yeah.
not each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like I had a bunch of people come up to me and be like, "Oh, it's really it's kind of sad that you guys are. It's sad that you guys don't talk."
Yeah. I had
said,
someone
"Why?"
come up to me and be like, they're avoiding each other. And then I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Then we
Yeah.
just laughed about it.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't have avoided him if I hadn't talked about him so much on this.
What? That's just the answer, of
Because
course.
the last time we texted, I said, "I wish you we both." Said,
Well, yeah, that's what I
wish
thought
you
the thing
best."
was. That's
Yeah.
why I go, I'm going to talk to him because I thought it was like you both apologized and you were like, we're good.
We were good, and then
And this was 2 months
and
ago.
then I kind of talked about him for weeks and weeks on our show, and it's all well documented.
Yeah,
So I have
yeah.
no idea what could potentially be played back to me if I was in court. I mean, I literally just, said that he's Hamas. Yeah, he's Hamas and I'm Israel. Like, I'm intelligent and okay. So anyway, I'm intelligent and innovative, and the whole world is jealous of me. I guess I am. I guess I am kind of a
You just have the
narcissist.
bomb I ran today.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I walked outside at one moment and Column is chanting Free Palestine at you,
Yeah.
but like mockingly. Yeah.
Right.
It was like midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's like it was interesting because I was confronted with everything that I've sort of posted online over the past few years, and it makes me go like, yeah, it's true. Like we all make our choices, we all pick what to say and how much to talk about it and everything, and we all have to deal with the choices of our actions. And then, like I said, that conversation with that woman who was very nice, and she was like, some of your Jewish friends are worried that you hate them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just reminds you that they don't see. I also did a
Yeah, I don't
podcast
know. At
with
what
Sabrina
point do you
Piper.
but do they also say like, and also obviously Israel is like way out of control, and
No, they don't.
they don't say, like
They
that's
don't.
that's my issue. It's
Yeah.
like I understand what they're saying, where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm Jewish, I feel uncomfortable right now. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
But then what's the other part?
Yeah.
Well, you
Why
try-
can't we
they
talk
should
about
be,
the
but
other
they should
part?
be saying that, and
Which
they
is
don't.
people are dying.
Right.
Yeah.
They should be saying that, and they don't.
Well, you
That's
try-
what's weird. It's like you're how old? They're all like 40.
Yeah,
How are
yeah,
you
yeah.
not talking like a person who knows how to fucking talk?
I know.
And now I have to feel bad
Right.
because you can't admit things.
You can't admit it.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you try to have an honest conversation about these people, about how they're flooding the country with millions of illegal aliens to try to destroy the white race.
And how they made porn.
Yes. how they invented pornography to destroy the American birth rate and turn white men and women against each other.
They want to destroy the nuclear family.
And
they pump our schools full of gay porn. Yeah, right. And how they owned all the slave ships.
You just try to have an honest conversation with your Jewish friends about these things, and they just pretend like it's not happening.
Yeah. Just kidding. And we are an anti-Semitism podcast.
That's right.
We've done entire episodes about it.
Was Rich Voss there?
Yeah, and he walked up to me, and because I was talking to Bonnie, and he walked up and he was like, "Don't talk to him. That's the enemy." He said something about like me and you were gonna go to a Palestinian neighborhood or something. And then I was like, "That's great, Voss." I'm like, and at least you have your principles,
Yeah. Rich Voss, the legend, on Instagram 2 days ago. Suffering Fuckatash. First Hamas and Hezbollah, now Iran. Israel's the aggressor. It's not going to end well for those terrorists. Hashtag 6-day war. Hashtag 1967. Time to set up new tents outside Columbia, Yale, UCLA.
Which is it's like, what is he even trying to say with that?
Yeah, he speaks like he was just pulled from Rubble. How are you not sympathetic? You sound like you have fucking debris in your mouth, asshole.
Bomb shelter.
Yeah, there are Palestinians who've survived JDAM strikes with better dental situations than Rich Voss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at least he'll at least he'll talk to you.
Yeah,
it's not like I would rather have that conversation than like be in a room with Ron and we're both avoiding eye contact like little autistic cowards, the little autistic cowards that we both are. Just kidding.
How do we resolve this between you and Ron?
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're like Israel Palestine, right?
What's
it's just
that?
like I guess there's got to be a bigger war. There's not a resolution.
Yeah, we got to build.
You just got to bring in bigger countries.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We need like I don't know, but anyway, so then I'm like walking in the so that conversation that I had with that female friend of mine, the one that has a husband. And she's like, and then she's doing this thing where she's like, I mean, I don't know how to fix it. Do you know how to, that Sarah Silverman thing where it's like, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, we should give everybody their rights. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
And then she goes, yeah, well, I think that we should let women show their face.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. I guess you're right. The Muslims are the problem.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like she was being disingenuous or, whatever. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting.
It's very 2003 conversation.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to.
That sucks that we have people like that go, I think the women, because it's just like, those are the blow it all up people.
Well, they're like, it's
the
like,
people
right,
who are like, all of their women are suffering. And then it's like, well, talk to their women.
And right. So the implication is that they're just a bunch of like Muslim savages.
Exactly.
Cover their faces.
Yeah. And it's easier to do terrible things to them.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right.
I used to feel that way when I was.
Everybody did.
But I was 12 in 2000.
Well, after Israel did 9/11, everybody felt that way.
Yeah.
And then But then I guess the last thing was, I'm saying everybody makes their choices and whatever. And then I saw Joe List in the hallway, and he was like on his phone, and I was like, I don't think he just snubbed me. He try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he was focused on Grindr. He was meeting a guy in the bathroom.
Finally, now I can suck cock in peace. It's good to be here in Vegas. Now I can suck cock when I'm away from my wife. But
Dominic Strauss-Kahn.
Yeah. So then I'm like, oh, I'm sure he just didn't see me, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I look on social media and he's unfollowed me on Instagram and Twitter. And
That rules. That's
fine.
so funny.
What?
Really? Is that true?
Yeah, but a bunch
I
of
like
but
Joe.
like a bunch of people have, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like a bunch of people have.
Yeah.
unfollowed me.
Huh.
And it's
Joe's
just
not-
like
Joe's not Jewish, right?
no, but him and Ron are like best friends.
Joe loves comedy so much he's Jewish.
I'm
His
actually-
history is
Mm.
ingrained in loving comedy, so he is Jewish.
I'm
yes.
almost done with Martin Amos's last memoir, Inside Story. So Martin Amos he died in 2023. He's an English author. He's the son of Kingsley Amos, another famous English author. And Martin Amos was best friends with Christopher Hitchens. So the memoir is interesting because it talks about the death of Christopher Hitchens. But anyways, why I brought that up was he's an English author, but he loves Israel so much because his hero was Sal Bellow, the writer. Sal Bellow has this quote that without Israel, Jewish manhood would have been finished, which is the idea that, Jews were murdered in the Holocaust and like Israel was, now we can stand up for ourselves. Now we can be tough. And there was just a lot of boomer Jewish Americans had this kind of concept of Israel. And so like Martin Amos worshiped his writing so much that he adopted this concept, though apparently and I guess Martin Amos talks about he lost his virginity to some Jewish girl who was like in the middle of the 67
Isn't
war.
that always how it goes.
She like went to donate blood to the Israelis or something. So, it was just Sal Bellow's writing and Jewish pussy made this guy into a Zionist.
Mhm.
And it's like, I guess.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't take that much.
No. Yeah. So it's kind of maybe a semi-comparable situation with Joe List where you love stand-up comedy so much. Of course, so many of the great stand-up comedians are Jewish that sometimes you can just kind of become a Zionist through your worship of their other work or opinions or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So the other day I was trying to get this kid fired from Columbia from his library job, and I'm Googling and I'm saying, how do I make this guy lose his job?
Who else unfollowed you? That's wild, man.
Hey, Rachel Corey, they really flattened her like a pancake, huh? I wish I was the guy driving the bulldozer. I could run over that woman. So I'm on it's like Tuesdays with Stories, but with Zionist Joe List. So I'm on the roof. With my sniper rifle. I see these two children playing soccer. And I said, let's do a little double tap. Let's do a little double tap on those two 8-year-olds. Because I love shooting children. No, come on, they're not human. They're Arabs. They're a bunch of freaking Arabs.
Don't worry, we control the media. It's fine. They'll believe what we tell them.
I was trying to get Mike Recine blacklisted from all the comedy clubs in New York City. So I'm over sending angry emails anonymously, of course. Of course, I send the emails anonymously so they can't figure out that it's me. And I'm like, we should, what? While we're at it, we should ban all the Arab comics too, because I don't want to have to look at them. I don't want to have to see them when I'm trying to eat my hummus and falafel at the Comedy Cellar.
It's so funny.
Thanks. Just think about that for a while.
Yeah.
What else?
So y'all didn't talk at all?
What's that?
You guys didn't talk?
Me and Joe List?
Yeah.
That cocksucker is dead to me. I wish him nothing but pain for the rest of his life. Well, what are we going to talk about?
I don't know,
Yeah.
Just life, having kids, right?
Yeah,
Just got a kid.
I guess, yeah. Sam is another story. I'll never have anything.
You don't
say
think he'll
about
ever be
Sam.
in the same room as you?
What's that?
You don't think he'll ever be in the same
I
room
haven't.
as you?
I'll tell you what. I haven't checked to see if Sam's unfollowed me. I'm sure he has.
Do it right now.
I'm sure
Let
he
this
has.
heart break.
But
yeah.
Sam is the guy I would almost consider emailing, being like, I understand. I got nothing negative to say.
It's like the Fox and the Hound.
It's like
this was bound to happen.
It's literally the Fox and the Hound. Yeah.
You fucking
Yeah.
pecker.
The Fox,
That's so
the
funny.
Fox and the wildly successful Hound. the Fox and the Hound who became a multimillionaire, even though they started at the same time. And some say that the Fox was kind of funnier than the Hound.
It's like an idiot.
Many
He's
people-
so dumb.
Many people said the Fox was a better comic, and but the Hound was, I don't know, very, very good at joke writing.
Oh man.
And yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyway, we're about halfway through the regular episode of the show. Patreon.com/OutforSmokes if you want more.
I'm Joe Liz. Come on. You got to kill the kids.
Come on, give me some money.
You got to bomb the babies.
I care more about money than anything else in the world.
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's not true.
It's not true.
What do you mean? No, it's Zionist Joe List.
Oh, you're right.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
So
right.
that's- okay.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
the bit. That's fine.
Right.
I don't care how many kids die. I kind of like, after a while, you get kind of desensitized to it and you sort of enjoy it.
Ersatz Israel. Greater Israel. It's in the Bible. Old Testament. They get all of it.
All right, those kids get in the way when they're trying to shoot Hamas, and it's so sad. It makes me want to cry.
You trying to take out a tank with a rock? What are you doing?
Why are you throwing rocks at the tank? Why'd your parents let you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Where are the parents? Oh, they're dead. Whoops. Israel bombed them.
A lot of these kids, they grow up to be terrorists anyway. Yeah, that's just a few. People say, "Oh, Palestinian children." I mean, that's just a future terrorist. That's right, scumbag. Don't unfollow me.
Jesus.
Follow me.
That's what you get for unfollowing me. Anyway,
Joe.
just kidding. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a beer someday.
Yeah, I love Joe, man.
Maybe I'll. No, he's sober.
Joe. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You're
Joe,
sober, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Joe's
I'll be
better
like, hey,
than
Joe,
like everybody too.
I'll be like, hey Joe, it's Heineken 0.
You get him drunk.
Dude, can I just say real quick? One of my favorite things with my kid is sometimes he'll I'll say bad words and Deb will yell at me. And then Benjamin will go, I want to be bad like daddy.
And you like that?
Awesome. Yeah.
That's so great.
I'm like, because teaching your kid to be good is cool, but teaching your kid to be a piece of shit is so much more
Yeah,
awesome.
because it's more of like your personality you're
Yeah.
giving him as opposed to just the rules of
And
the
girls
world.
like bad boys.
Yeah.
All these, and I was
You
thinking
think
about
you're
this.
giving him a little pussy by giving him this advice?
I'm helping him get pussy.
Yeah.
Look, listen, son.
You're building blocks.
Teaching you to be a piece of shit so you can get pussy. Nice guys do not get pussy. Don't repeat this to your mother.
Yeah.
We're like in a gym in sweats. I'm like training him how to be a scumbag.
A little bit of irony in comics who don't drink hating the Muslims, huh?
Yeah.
Think they could get a bond along those lines.
Now, why do these Muslims, why do they smell so bad?
I'm Zionist Gay Joe List. Nothing wrong with raping prisoners in the ass.
Me and my friends we just wanted to do a little gangbang on the prisoner. And look, it wasn't a sex thing. We were just trying to humiliate him.
We're just establishing dominance.
I don't know. It wasn't horny at all. It wasn't sexual related at all. What, we can't humiliate our prisoners?
It was like a sitcom scene for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like moving the couch up the steps in Friends.
I want to thank you guys all for rioting on my behalf. Thanks for trying to burn down the Knesset so I could rape prisoners.
I'm Zionist Gay Joe List.
I'm gay.
Cruising gay Zionist Joe List.
And the only place I can be gay is in Tel Aviv. Did you know that? Imagine if I was gay in Gaza, they'd throw me off a building. Hey, you fags know they'd kill you if you supported Hamas. You know what they do to you fags in Gaza if you went to Gaza? Bet you fags don't know that. It cut your fag heads off. Anyway, are we gonna get a strike? Are we gonna get a strike for that?
No, it's after 10 minutes.
Can we
It's
bleep
fine.
those? All right, fine. I don't want to. I just don't want to get Johnny. Should we bleep those slurs?
No. No.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
We'll
Are you sure it's fine?
No.
Yeah. No. I'm saying like, using slurs. If you don't, if anyway, whatever. Okay.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
He's so concerned now.
Yeah.
I text Jerry Seinfeld. That means this hospital needs to be bombed.
I was talking to my straight friend Jerry, and I was like, Jerry, I'm gay, you're straight, and we both love killing Palestinian children.
Wait, is this what happens to you though? Like, so you see someone you know and they don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Then do you go on the internet and look up their name and see if they unfollowed you?
kind of have a feeling of like who. That's why I was surprised that friend that I brought up was so nice to me.
Okay.
I'm shocked that you're talking to me because I know that I know how much you love Israel.
Mhm.
But I guess she likes Mike Recine more.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just that great of a guy that she'll. But so I kind of have an idea, and I don't want to really think about it. But there are a couple people who have unfollowed, and that's okay, and it is what it is, and we all make our choices. And look, it's like sometimes if you want to do gay Zionist Joe List on your podcast, then that means you're going to lose a couple friends. So we're all adults, we all make our choices, and that's it.
Yeah, Anna Katchian didn't unfollow me, but
imagine cutting your penis off in Gaza. You couldn't do that. You're an idiot. I know, Joe. It's true. All these people who want to cut their cocks off couldn't even do that in Gaza. It's like the first time Jerry Seinfeld curses on stage. Oh, you want to cut your fucking cock off in Gaza? Oh man, let's never do the show without the three of us ever again. You guys are all.
I wish I wasn't here.
You guys are my best friends in the whole world.
Because me and Joey always just go hi, oh hey, hi, and
right.
Our bit was like, all we do is keep saying hi to each other, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could be better friends with Joe.
Right.
And then this.
So what
happens.
you're saying is you're kind of the weak link in the Alpha Smokes.
No, because I don't. He's just a guy. He's just a funny man. He's sweet. Joe's very sweet.
Yeah.
Well, he probably don't follow you because he has a podcast with Renan, and so there's like a loyalty to that. I almost respect it.
You almost respect it.
Almost.
I've known him longer than I've known whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he better find this material funny because I will not apologize. I will never apologize for gay Zionist Joe List.
I will never apologize for filling 7 minutes on my podcast.
I'd rather be getting my dick sucked in Tel Aviv than be in Gaza getting my head blown off. Okay.
Right.
All right. That's it.
No, people are just like, it's dime store come town. And no, it's like, no, we took gay Joe List and we added Zionist gay Joe List.
Yeah.
That's the upgrade.
I know, but don't compare yourself to other.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
We're on the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Anna Katchian?
I was just saying, she didn't unfollow me, but I saw her in person. She didn't acknowledge me, what? And it's like I don't know
because you got so muscular.
Yeah, she didn't recognize me.
No way, that Sean McCarthy. He looks like he's like 120, 125 pounds.
Soaking wet.
Sean, I know. Yeah.
Damn.
Where'd you see her in public? At a bathhouse?
Yeah. No. Lower East Side.
Well, y'all disagree politically, though? I don't know this. Her.
She's like,
you don't know anything.
Who the fuck is? I vaguely know her.
Well,
there's
like
these two women who had a podcast in Brooklyn, and we're supposed to give a fuck because you guys are losers and have like barely a gauge on what is attractive. And so you go, oh, I think I kind of want to fuck them, and they complete sentences and they're rude. That's like half of what I've got. I learned that when I was like 25, and I said I will never listen to this. And then you guys pretended they were famous. It's a crime. All of it's a crime. I think the only famous thing should be like American Idol and shut the fuck up.
I guess you're right.
It's all so embarrassing. Yeah, I'm wrong for not knowing these two dumb twats.
Okay, I just said you were right. I'm wrong.
Okay, continue.
Fine. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no, they take pictures with who do they take pictures with? They'll like take a picture with Alex Jones, right?
Yeah.
And you go, holy shit, they are cunt, right? Like you go, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you go, Brooklyn's not a real place. Anybody who lives there is a liar. Anyway,
they are kind of famous though.
I know, but it's not a fame I give. You shouldn't care.
Yeah,
it's not real.
Yeah, you're right.
Anna was she was up at like 3 a.m. like drunk tweeting about the vice presidential debate, like pro JD Vance stuff, and it's like, check your baby daddy's Instagram DMs if you're gonna be up that late.
Yeah,
she has a baby daddy.
Yeah.
How did that happen to her? I guess the money.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
no matter how much you support Israel, it will not stop your baby daddy from DMing 22-year-olds on Instagram.
Oh, they support Israel?
Wow.
Sean, you do.
Wait, so there's these girls from Brooklyn that everybody loves, but they're wrong about things?
Well, they're like kind of right wing.
But it's like, we're based.
Yeah.
And I go, I love based. I love a lady who talks like my dumb dad.
The time it takes to explain it to you, we only have like 20 minutes left.
Okay, sorry, ladies.
But Dasha dressed up a target like a Palestinian and shot at it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's by people.
Hell yeah, I like a chick who goes axe throwing on Saturday for content. Shut up, bitch. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
All right.
I love how I get nervous when Mike talks about Joe, and then when I talk about some like people who don't matter in reality except X, Mike gets nervous.
No, I'm not. I'm not nervous. I just don't want to bore anybody with.
Oh,
Yeah, but I guess, but Anna was like, I don't know. She's just become very right wing over the years. But whatever. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
probably because she was that the whole time, right?
I think when you get money, you change and you want to protect the money. We don't have any money to protect. Really.
Well, it was weird. Like, you know, I don't want to talk about the vice presidential debate too much because it was boring. But like, you know, I go on Twitter after and like, you see so many people like JD Vance killed it. He was so incredible. And it's like, he did what they all do.
Yeah.
You do the 2-minute sound bites.
Yeah.
Like if you spend a few weeks, months training, you can do that too. It's meaningless. It's
Right.
not that impressive to fit your answer into 2 minutes and know how to like talk like that. But you see all these people on Twitter like sucking it off, and it's like, yeah, you people are all Thiel money now. This is what you do. You have, you know, and in fairness, most factions have that. But once people are like recognizably in some political faction where they're getting money from whoever, like even RFK Jr. was paying influencers, it's like they just have to kind of stay on a script. And it's very pathetic to see people who like are interesting or smart or whatever just have to parrot a script, and especially one that's like sucking off JD Vance. Because it's like, and I say this as a guy, he follows me on Twitter. It'd be nice to have the president of a Twitter follower of mine, but you know, he's like, yeah, he's a fucking Yale law graduate. He can do that competently. It's not that impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's some of the left's fault, though. So, you know, when you're like half paying attention, all we've gotten about JD Vance is this guy fucks couches. He has zero charisma. He's boring. Why did Donald Trump pick him?
Yeah.
And then he beat Waltz in the debate.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I agree with him, but like by debate standards, he won. And so everyone's going, holy shit, we thought he fucked couches and didn't even know how to string it. It's like, it's our fault for acting like he was so incapable. And then he was more capable than Waltz, who came off very sweet, but confused at times. Right? So that's our fault.
Yeah, it was interesting when they had JD Vance debate the gas station attendant from No Country for Old Men. But yeah. Anyways, anything else about Skankfest?
Well, so I'll tell you what, when God closes a door, he opened a very big window. And so I lost the Joe List follow, but I got the Rania Kalik follow. I got a retweet, and she put one of her tweets in her story.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've only sent her like 7 or 10 DMs.
You're like, we will pay for your dinner
Yeah.
next time you're in New York.
Yeah. Well, that's how you make connections, Scott. If you
Yeah, Mike had like a popular tweet this week, and then he started sending us like his DMs to Jake Shields. Thanks for the retweet, Jake Shields.
Oh yeah,
Keep
you want
fighting the good fight.
Were you trying to get
You're
us to
such
invite?
a fucking asshole. You
How am I an asshole?
Because
That's
you don't
gay.
understand. You don't understand power or how to
No, you're right. Jake
advance your
Shields is the
career.
man.
Well, don't you? Isn't our whole thing getting more eyeballs on the
Right.
show?
No, it's doing
Why are
right
you-
by the Lord
Now, wait a minute.
and Allah.
Now wait a minute, Scott. Mike is right. We should have on that guy who got anti-Semitism from getting hit in the head too much.
Yeah,
The guy who has CTE-induced anti-Semitism should come on our podcast.
People would watch the episode and then we'd maybe get some new listeners, but you guys don't think in those terms.
Right. Well, we'd have to do it remote because we would have to insult him,
Yeah.
and he's a former MMA fighter.
Yeah, all day Mike DMs former MMA fighters and former porn stars. He's like every retarded guy I went to high school with. It's crazy. Oh, but we're excited to have Jake Shields on.
Let's not.
soon.
You know what? Let's not
keep
grow
fighting the good
Let's
fight.
not grow the show at all. Wow, that's really fucked up. That you're. Let's not grow the show at all, Scott. Let's just live in our fucking mother's house for the rest of our life. Let's
Dude,
be totally
Mike really is like Patrick Bet Davis with a moral compass and no business sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact
I have
same
a
guy.
little bit.
You got a little bit of business sense.
Did Rania answer your DMs?
No,
got
she
back to me.
ignored my DMs.
She ignored your DMs. Wow.
Yeah.
Look what she wrote to me. Please don't DM me again. Please, you're being way too forward. No, she said thanks.
Who's this person?
Who?
Rania, who's she?
She's a journalist.
But she's also a hot lady.
Lebanese journalist.
Very beautiful.
No comment. There's only one beautiful woman that I can name off the top of my head.
What is? Because I mean, gosh, we barely talked about it. We're 43 minutes in, but
My
like,
mother.
I mean, what is the outcome of Iran responding to Israel?
All right, you want to get into that?
Yeah, like what the fuck? I thought we were going to talk about World War III on this episode.
Well, we can. We got some time left, and we got the Patreon too. Think of this episode
Sure,
as a
sure.
long 2-hour episode.
Think of this as the Patreon. Actually, we're doing the main next.
We're not doing it. This is the main. And like I said, patreon.com/outforsmokes. You can join us over there for the rest of for Sean's analysis. Because we're almost done this one.
I just like this, Patrick. Could you just do your impression of him saying this one?
Khomeini must die. Iran is going to pay a price for this. They're going to pay a price. We're going to.
These are Patrick Bet David tweets about, Khomeini must die and all this other tough guy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Wall said, I've become friends with school shooters.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, at the debate.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I know I've said this before, but I just love what Patrick Bet David is selling because I listen to this guy and I go, man, like I'm telling you, the only thing that's missing from my life is $200,000. So I listen to him and I go, wow, you can be rich and be a fucking dumbass and just be a hateful, stupid dumbass. You just wear a little suit and slick back your hair. We should start. I'm going to do that next week.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear a suit to the show.
Yeah.
And just see if it changes,
Yeah, he
how
feels like
I
a
interact.
chiropractor's visit. It's like, that
Yeah.
was a scam, but I'm warm. I'm like warm for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my back's he put lotion on my back that made it tingle. And it was only $400. Yeah. He's like a guy that shows up at your house to sell you vinyl siding.
Yeah.
It's like, but you have to sign up for it right now because we want to use your house as a model home. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a big discount. You gotta buy it right now. You want to do it? You want to buy it? Yeah, I haven't watched him in a while.
I haven't. He hasn't been recommended to me in a while. They're shadow banning him, I think.
Shadow banning.
You're right. It's too close to the election for us to hear the truth,
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
But what is going on with Iran and Israel? And should we be scared?
Yeah. Well, Iran retaliated. They sent somewhere 100, 200 ballistic missiles at Israel. Israel still said, officially, the only person who died was like some guy in Jordan. I don't know if you guys saw that video. This is just like a guy walking down the street in Jordan and a missile just like falls on him because it was like shot out of the sky. I mean, it sucked for that guy. It's just random bad luck.
It looked like a pretty quick death, though.
Yeah, it looked
compared to the Palestinian children that are trapped under rubble right now.
Yes.
Sure.
But that's the only confirmed death, though. It seems like the Israelis are kind of blacking out what happened because there are videos of like Iran making direct hits on Israeli military bases. So we don't know like how much damage, but I was really skeptical that nobody died, but maybe nobody died. But at least Iran was able to hit some Israeli military bases, which is, pretty significant. And Iran is saying, they made a threat, which was basically, we could have leveled Tel Aviv, but we decided against it. However, if Israel retaliates, we will revisit this idea in the future, basically.
Nice. And then Netanyahu said he's going to retaliate, right?
Netanyahu said he's going to retaliate. The Biden administration is, according to the press, they support an Israeli retaliation, but they want it to be more limited. Because, these fucking tough guys on Twitter talk about, they got to take out all the Iranian oil export facilities and stuff. And it's like, you fucking lunatics. Like, what happens then is Iran, of course, retaliates against like Saudi oil or U.S. bases in the Middle East. I mean, destroying Iranian oil destroys their entire could destroy their entire economy. They're not going to take that lying down. That's like full on war. So like if Israel wants to go there, and it's also still, and this is exactly why Israel did this now, which is, I'm not a smart guy, but I would assume, or I would hope, the people who work in the White House are smarter than me. And I would assume, or I would hope, they understand, which I did say publicly, like the elections a month from now, of course Israel is doing this all now. Because, if you fucking set off an oil war with Iran, like gas will be $9, I mean, Trump will win, which is what Israel wants, which is what the people of Israel want, because then they have a guy who's going to back them even more to the hilt in terms of annexing the West Bank, or just straight up, let's have a U.S. war against Iran. And
because for the past 2 months, we've been getting the whole like, hey, Iran is secretly trying to kill Trump.
Oh yeah, and this is like, that's just how retarded American politics has become. Like Iran like got 2 white guys to shoot at Trump. Yeah. One of the white guys was like Ukrainian NAFO or whatever, and then the other guy is just has a Jason Bourne level background deletion where we know nothing about this fucking guy who shot at Trump. He just like, he's got some Jason Bourne file, and the FBI cremated his body before anybody could like look at it or see what's going on.
That's so funny that they did it.
Yeah, I know.
How's that allowed? He's not a cat.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Here's your son. Yeah, we took care of those costs for you. You could just Venmo me for the cremation. The cremation costs.
Yeah, Thomas Crooks is just no background, but the I don't know.
Didn't a friend of ours say that they were trying to kill Trump so they could go to war with Iran?
Well, I mean, I could see the deep state doing that, yes, but Trump's such a retard, and the people around him are so retarded, and most of his supporters are so retarded that this kind of Iran is trying to kill Trump, or the Biden administration is trying to help Iran kill Trump. Like, are you an idiot? Yeah. Of course Iran is not doing that. Iran, the absolute last thing they want is a war. And interestingly enough, what I do find like pretty interesting about this is like the United States.
Yeah, they just want to lock up women. They just want to produce oil and throw women in jail for showing ankle.
Lady jail.
Yeah.
What I do find interesting about this is the United States, like that they've looked at war with Iran. Like, and the people who run the U.S. empire are not sentimentalists. They've decided against war with Iran on at least 2 occasions for very practical reasons. And the first time was the Lockerbie bombing. If the listeners haven't, there's a great documentary on YouTube called The Maltese Double Cross, which kind of goes into like who actually did the Lockerbie bombing. It's very well done. And the basic story is the United States shot down an Iranian jet, and then the Iranians retaliated by paying a Palestinian Islamic Jihad affiliated group to put a bomb on this plane, which blew up over Scotland. Though interestingly, the documentary also goes that the CIA knew this was coming, and they actually made sure some South African politicians weren't on that plane, though they made sure a few U.S. officials, I believe who were stationed in Lebanon, interestingly enough, were on that plane. And it seemed like those U.S. officials were trying to crack down on the drug trade there. So it's, and this is the argument the film makes. It's a fascinating, interesting story. But the general point is like, okay, U.S. shot down a plane. The Iranians retaliated and did terrorism. And the CIA knew pretty quick. They knew before it happened that it was the Iranians. So why does the George H.W., this is 1988, why does the George H.W. Bush administration blame Libya when they had nothing to do with it? And the general consensus is that because war with Iran would result in such devastation for the oil markets, there's this geographical area, the Strait of Hormuz, where like 20% of the world's oil passes through. Like a lot of the oil that goes out of Saudi Arabia has to pass through. And it's just this very narrow strip that Iran can basically shut down. It can block all ships. It can mine it. It could put mines there. It could do whatever. It could make it so world oil markets would have an apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And so that's why the U.S. didn't go to war with them in 1988. Dick Cheney, at the second half of the George W. Bush administration, they wanted to go to war with Iran again. This was like, if you, those of you who are alive then, you might remember, like
they were the axis of evil, right?
Right. There was like this moment towards the end of the second George W. Bush administration, where there was like a real push for war with Iran, and Dick Cheney was all in favor of it, but more powerful people within the U.S. establishment were able to kind of talk him down. It's like, hey, we got Iraq. That's that's all we get. And actually, I was listening to Norman Finkelstein the other day, and he was talking about like after 9/11, the Israelis, they really wanted us to go to war with Iran, but we settled for Iraq, which I do believe was done primarily for Israel, because Iraq's, we disbanded their army, we destroyed the state. It's a basket case now. It 20 years later, it doesn't threaten Israel. So it might have been a disaster for the U.S., but it worked out great for Israel. But, so the point of that was there have been these two instances where like the neocons really wanted war with Iran, but cooler head or like people within the U.S. establishment who understand what would happen to global oil markets.
Because a bunch of people said they were going to resign, right? If we,
yeah. I mean, it's just it's interesting, like talking all about Zionism or like the U.S. takeover of Zionism. Like it's by Zionism. It's an oversimplification to say that Israel runs the United States. However, there is a Zionist, like the people who really call the shots for the most part are the Zionists within the United States. And it's kind of the dominant faction, but there are conflicts from the Zionists and the people who are strictly interested in the long-term interests of the U.S. empire. And I would say war with Iran would be one of the primary conflicts. However, it just seems like the Zionists have gotten so much more powerful over the last 40 years that we might be at the point where we do get war with Iran. Like the people who have held them off until now have just progressively lost power, and we might be at the point where that's what we get, because it just seems like nobody in the Biden administration can tell the Israelis no, and it seems like the Trump administration would be even more pro-Israel. So it's just something where I made some tweet about, Americans, we have to like do anything we can to try to stop or obstruct a U.S. war against Iran. And, we do all feel very powerless, but you have to remember, like, if enough of us get out there, or there's civil disobedience, or there's a lot of opposition to using U.S. military assets for this point. But I just think like, yeah, we do have power. It's just a question of overcoming people's indifference. And I think
but no, we don't want like our troops over there.
No.
Hopefully, I would hope.
Nobody wants our troops over there, but it's always like a, just let me put the tip in kind of thing. Like this is the way they always fucking do it. Like the only people the Israelis want to kill more than like Palestinians are any U.S. troops based in the Middle East, or just like a few of them. And like, the paranoid in me is of course like thinking, I'm sure they're trying to think of ops or like false flags or whatever to try to get some U.S. troops over there killed. Because the entire Israeli strategy is to bring the United States in. And it's, I learned a nice term, defeat in detail, which just means divide and conquer, but that's the military term. And that's what the Israelis have been doing, where it's like their strategy, axis of resistance is, Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran. And the Israeli strategy is like first Hamas, then Hezbollah, and then Iran. But Iran was always the main target. Iran is always who the Israelis wanted to go after, and they don't have a real plan except to get the United States to go to war with Iran. And that's why, like, the only other thing I'll say on this is one of our listeners is a patron who's like, she supported us a long time, and she had some message about, we talk about Israel all the time, and it's like, it's kind of tedious, and, we have real problems in this country, why it's hard for, like, why don't you focus on that? Like, and I understand that, people who like work their jobs, like, yeah, there's fucking.
I know. I literally thought we were going to do Israel for like the first 10 minutes and then talk about something else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's like, yeah, I get it. There's fentanyl everywhere. There's homeless everywhere. Like cost of living goes up. Rent is crazy. Yeah. If you live in the United States, it's like, why do you guys talk about Israel all the time? And the reason for me personally is like, I think these people are psychopaths, and I think they've taken over the U.S. government, and I think they're going to start World War III. Like, I think nobody should vote for Kamala Harris. Like, vote Green Party, vote Socialist, vote anybody anti-Israel, because it's just like defeating the Zionists is so important that I think they're going to fucking kill us all. And I think we need an actual anti-Zionist coalition or faction in the United States. And if it doesn't exist, we have to create one because, like I said, there's no Israeli strategy except for get the United States to go to war with Iran. The Zionists are more powerful than they have ever been in U.S. history, like going back to the 80s, compare and contrast U.S. response to the war in the Israeli war with Lebanon there to today. Nobody in the U.S. establishment can or wants to stop them. So it's like, the comment was things that are happening a world away. It's not happening a world away. It's happening to us, and their entire strategy is to get us and the U.S. military involved. It's going to affect all our lives if we can't stop it. So I'm more than willing to sound like Chicken Little if it will hopefully wake some Americans up to just how dangerous Zionist control of U.S. politics has become, and how extremely possible it is that it will result in World War III if we don't make serious efforts to stop it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What does World War III
maybe we
look
should
like?
kill them all because they're going to kill. They want to kill me. What'd you say?
What does World War III look like to you?
Well, actually, when we went to record this, the fucking Israelis bombed a Russian base in Syria, which is crazy. I mean, it's just like, I'm just like I said, the curse of living in interesting times, because I'm reading this stuff and I can't believe it. But Russia has been, supporting Israel up until now. Then, like, apparently Netanyahu was like trying to call Putin to get him to like stop the Iranians from retaliating, and Putin didn't pick up the phone or something. So it's like, you're seeing these kind of divisions where China and Russia, for the most part, have supported Israel or been neutral or whatever. But I think they are starting to see it's like they could draw the U.S. into a quagmire, because that's what a U.S. war with Iran would be, a quagmire. Like, maybe the United States would win, but a lot of fucking people would die. And
they said make Iraq look like a cakewalk.
Yes, which is exactly why they chose to do Iraq instead of Iran, because even, back in 2003, Iran is a much more mountainous country. It's more distant, but also because of the Strait of Hormuz and these other factors, they could cause an apocalypse in the global oil energy markets.
I will say this about Iraq, looking back at it, to the comment of make it look like a cakewalk. I know we were there for a long time, but the overthrowing of Iraq was a cakewalk. We fucked it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just ate it up immediately.
Iran's much more mountainous, the terrain. It's more difficult.
But I was thinking back on that, and I was like, damn,
larger.
we just conquered them so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. But Iran, longer.
But then it was like
But then it's just the longest bullshit festival of like mishaps, and sure. But it wasn't like U.S. deaths. That was not happening.
I guess they say that Saddam kind of held the country together.
Yeah, I mean,
was Saddam even bad?
I mean, sort of.
Yeah.
But
no, but they did have a good
70%.
healthcare system and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it was a functional state. Like, that was literally, I've talked about this before, but I always thought Paul Bremer, who ran the occupation when he came in, I always thought he was incompetent. But it's like, let's just pretend Paul Bremer's job was to serve Israel. What would you do first thing? Well, you would disband the army. So now Iraq, which launched Scud missiles at Israel during the first Gulf War to try to like draw it in and get the other Arab states to kind of go against Israel, you disbanded the army. So now they have no force projection capability, complete basket case. And then you just disband the Iraqi state. You fire all the Baathists, everybody who joined the Ba'ath Party member to just be a functionary. They're all out of work. And all the functions of the state collapse really quickly, like the healthcare, the education, like they privatized all sorts of shit. And so now Iraq is a basket case, and it went from like a powerful nation state that could threaten Israel and could also like maybe even have joined with Iran to launch missiles at Israel, to a country that's irrelevant, a failed state, not a threat to Israel. And it's just one of those things where, from the U.S. perspective, it's incompetent, but it's important to remember that our leaders, a lot of them are very smart people. They just have different interests than you or I. And so if Dick Cheney's goal was to 20 years from now make sure that Israel would not be threatened by Iraq when it did what it's doing now in Gaza and Lebanon, it's actually a pretty good long-term strategy to just, get a few thousand Americans killed to destroy a state that could have stood up to Israel.
Well, I guess we'll finish this over on Patreon. I know all you guys go, hey, it's this show's only a 2-hour commitment a week, and you guys suck at getting together in logistics. But I mean, all the research, all the reading that he does. I mean, come on, kick us a couple bucks over at patreon.com/outforsmokes. We all spend more than 2 hours a week on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You pieces of garbage, you ungrateful pieces of shit. You think podcasts just come out of thin air? But anyway. Over on patreon.com/outforsmokes is where we will resume this. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.